In 10 days, you know what's going to happen? Voters will determine who will be president and who will control the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, frankly, I think all of us are going to be glad for this long, brutal campaign season to be over. But the consequences of this election are not minor. Each party has staked out diametrically opposed positions on pretty much everything. I mean, this is not like any election ever. It really is not. President Trump is admittedly abrasive, combative, at times vain and vulgar. He became president having never held or even run for any political office. And unquestionably, he has been disruptive to the political establishment and to the genteel ways of Washington. He acted without regard to those feelings that he stepped on. He's really been kind of like the doctor whose bedside manner was gruff, impatient, even rude. But it's hard to objectively deny the positive results. Joe Biden has been painted as the kindly old Uncle Joe, a bit rattled and unsure of where he was, what he was even running for, and utterly confused about issues, especially since he's taken both sides of many of them just in this campaign. I mean, like taxes, fracking for gas and oil, foreign policy, shutting down travel from China in the early days of the China virus, and even whether your tax dollars ought to fund abortions. But he's not Mr. Rogers, folks. I mean, he challenged a veteran to a fist fight. He called a voter a lion, dog-faced pony soldier, whatever that's supposed to mean. And he uttered an unspeakable expletive into a microphone that he didn't know was live when he told President Obama how great Obamacare was. In his 47 years in Washington, can you name something, anything, that he has done that made your family safer, your business more prosperous, or the world more secure? Now, he wants us to believe that year 48 is going to be the one when he's going to show up with some great ideas that he's kept in his basement for the past 47. Yeah. You know, the only job he's ever had since he was in his 20s was a government job, and the guy's 77 years old. Yet somehow, in the 2 years after leaving the office of vice president, he made $16 million. Too bad he didn't tell the rest of us how to do that. But, folks, it's not personalities we elect, it's policies. So here's some questions. Do you own guns? Joe Biden has said he wants the government to take a bunch of them from you. Do you believe that every human life, including unborn babies, have worth and value and should be protected? Well, Joe Biden, despite being a Catholic, supports abortion at every stage of pregnancy right up to the moment of birth. And after 40 years of saying that taxpayers shouldn't fund abortions, this year he changed his mind and he wants us all to pay for them. He pushed for same-sex marriage long before the extreme court illegally decided that we ought to have it, despite the will of voters. He favors the trade policies like NAFTA and China policies that robbed millions of Americans of their jobs so that big global companies could rake in billions. And one of the rare times when President Obama did something universally praised, when he ordered the killing of Osama bin Laden, Joe Biden actually opposed that operation. And he was the only one in the Situation Room that did so. Former Defense Secretary Robert Gates publicly said that Joe Biden was wrong on every single foreign policy issue for the past 40 years. And he will raise your taxes. And if he pushes his promised energy policies, America's going to go back to dependence on energy from foreign sources. And by the way, that means the cost of driving your car or heating or cooling your home is going to soar. President Trump lowered taxes. He put money in your pocket, an estimated $6,500 for the average family. Of course, that was before the Chinese virus hit. He stood up to China. He stopped the nutty Iran deal. He recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, passed criminal justice reform that brought mercy and equity to the over-incarceration of black people. He also funded the largest amount ever for historically black colleges. He secured our borders, appointed great justices to the Supreme Court, protected religious liberty, and has made the most efforts to protect unborn babies. He believes in the Second Amendment and your right to protect yourself, your family, and to be able to do that without penalty. So you've got a choice, and it's not about the personality of the candidates. It just isn't. It's about the principles of America, free enterprise, law and order, and your family's future. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.